Okay, let's get started. So, linguistics video. This video going to give you some free information and a sort of review because I've had this question many times for a very long period of time, and that was compare the LINGQ, the Steve Kaufman's text reading, to other things that are out there. Okay, so the Learning with Text was a program that was created because someone was dissatisfied with the Kaufman product. The Kaufman product, it's a text reader using a grammar translation method, where you put the text, you bring in the text. Actually, people are paying. They're paying. Number one, they're paying to use it. They're providing their own content, which they're paying to do, and then they're using the software, which is housed on the internet. So if you don't have a connection, you're out of luck, right? And so what does that software do? Well, basically, it hooks up to dictionaries. It doesn't have its own internal dictionaries to give you translations of the word, of the target text you're looking at. It will give you translation probably into your L1. Mainly, most people are using it who are English speakers, so they're using whatever. Let's say they're using French. They're trying to read French, and they're looking at French text, and then they're getting translations of it in English words. Many things to say about it. One, he's charging. It's software that's not optimal. There's other things I'm going to give you them. Learning with Text is actually better. People complain because they have to bring their own content, and Kaufman has already built up a bunch of content because people have paid to load a bunch of content into his stuff. There is another one, FLTR, stronger than both of those. And I'm going to write some stuff down, and I'm going to give you some thing. So you want to look up, I'm telling you now, don't ask me for stuff because I'm giving you the information. So you want to look up for this, FLTR. It's stronger than LINGQ. It's stronger than Learning with Text. It can operate offline also. Offline. So it is a text reader. You're using text. So basically what's going on? A text reader is nothing but a sort of an upgraded idea of what you did in the old days with the grammar translation method, when you were given a text and you were to translate it into your own language and understand. That's how you would start learning how to understand. Used very much with dead languages, with Latin and ancient Greek and ancient Hebrew, etc. So that was the only way to go about those languages. This, I got to mention that LINGQ does not have a structure. It is nothing more than an adjunct tool. You cannot learn a language using it. You're going to have to learn the syntax, which is the grammar, which is important, and you're going to have to learn how to construct things on your own. These things are really only good when you hit around intermediate level, and you can start boosting your vocabulary. That's really what they are, is a vocabulary boosting tool, reading in new vocabulary in context to know how it can be used, or nuances of words that you might already know. That's what you do in your L1, actually. Kaufman is against graded reading, which is pretty stupid because he doesn't know anything about education, because that's what you do exactly in grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, grade 4, on and up. You do not start out at grade 1 trying to do calculus. That's math, but you also don't try to have them read a synopsis of Hemingway or Moby Dick or Melville. It can't be done. They don't have that ability. And the same thing, you need to be led in a sequential, structured way. Every science is based on establishing a structure and implementing a sequential scientific structure and a logical gradations. That's what I've done in self-defense, by the way. You can check that out. Other people were not able to do that. The factor here is there is no structure. He doesn't have it. There is no plan. There is no curriculum with what he's doing. So he's just offering you this service that you're paying for, and you're providing content. As I'm saying, you can get it better elsewhere. Now, let's switch into things. I've given you FLTR. Get it, check it out, use it. It's better than than the LINGQ. And what else? Well, there are many people know about Duolingo. Duolingo is a site which the guy who came up with CAPTCHA and reCAPTCHA is using, and he's basically structuring it so that people will start translating things that are on the internet. And he's crowdsourcing translations, which of course doesn't mean they're going to be that great of translations overall. They're not going to be 16 novices will never equal one expert in any field. This is the problem with the cult of the amateur and crowdsourcing. He's getting paid to do this. You think it's free for you, but you're working for him for free, actually. So the point is, you can get on that and use that Duolingo, because it also will do the same things. You read actual text, you do translations. It's a little bit better, that it's more gradated than his stuff. You'll go up and you have tests over syntax and structure. You'll have to do that. You'll hear audio of and ask questions. Now, so check that out, Duolingo. That's another thing to check out. Memorize is a very good for vocabulary learning from the SRS method, which spaced repetition practice, basically. The factor is that this all came about originally from Pimsleur, who started gradiated recall interval training, and then other people have now put it on to programs, because software can obviously do that pretty easily, and you can practice it. It's the best, I think. I feel it's the best of all the different ones that are on there. Now, people are using Anki and some other programs to load vocabulary or audio files into, and then you can bring them back and then know what you're doing. Of course, once again, this is translation. We're talking only about left-brain translation methods here, although you could set it up. It's a lot of work that you could use it and make it right brain. I might talk about that later. I'm not going to give out everything right now. Now, however, I'm going to clue you in to a site that is real-time, that does everything that LINGQ does, and it's stronger and better, and you don't have to import anything. It also tests you on what your vocabulary is, and then will automatically, as you start doing things, start suggesting things that you're to read at your level. You can also pick what you want to do. It searches the internet and it will suggest websites. Now, clue in and pay attention, because a lot of people don't know about this site, and I'm giving it away right here just because I'm sick and tired of people thinking that Kaufman has done something. He's done absolutely nothing, and you're paying for it. Now, this site, completely free, and works in, I think, 5 languages now? It's French, Spanish, Hebrew, Arabic. But you can look up almost any language and add it just for vocabulary. But for text searches, it will do that, and it will. It's not using the same dictionaries that Kaufman's stuff is using. And here's the site. Now go to this. Start using that. Go to it. It's much better. It's far stronger, far more accurate, and you're not paying to provide somebody with content that he resells to other people, that you're basically paying to do all the work. It's also a lot easier. It stores things. It gives you tests. You'll take tests. It'll tell you where you're at. It'll also tell how many words that you know supposedly on what you've looked at through it. And like I said, it will suggest websites and texts for you. You can get pretty accurate information that's very current too. It searches the news quite a bit. I've been using it. It's looking at news sites quite a bit, and that's good, so you can stay up on current topics if you're so inclined. However, those are some things. Now, FLTR and that site I just showed you, go to that. That's actually a Chrome extension. It plugs into your Chrome thing, and it can always be used. You can also use the Chrome translation. You can set it to whatever, and then it will switch any text, a percentage of the text, into whatever language you were learning. Let's say you were learning Spanish, and you had English, so it will translate those things into the percentage of how much you want that into Spanish. And once again, these things are adjuncts to actual classwork and coursework. And I'm going to give later. I'm going to give part of a technique. It's the German volume technique for language learning, and it's not known by people out there, not by the masses. I'm going to clue in a little bit on that because I'm just sick and tired of these people who don't know what they're talking about because they don't have education. Now, let's remember here, what's the difference here? I'm bringing this to you as a professional linguist, as a professional educator who's got credentials and certifications, all those things. The YouTube wannabe gurus of language don't have, yet they talk about them all the time. And of course, they deny credentials are important because they don't have them, they can't obtain them. So I would love to see Kaufman write a curriculum. He couldn't do it. I keep going on him because he's the most vocal proponent of himself and the person who wants to talk about how education doesn't work and how classrooms don't work. The only thing that works is his stuff. Well, his stuff can be replaced, and I've just shown you how, so they better up their game because their stuff doesn't compete, and you don't have to pay for this other stuff. So there you have it. Now, any people asking questions that I've already answered, you need to look at all my other videos. I'm not going to reiterate things for you here. I'm not going to answer your questions. You bring them up here. If you don't have a real name, you don't have a real photo, you're not getting on here, block you immediately nowadays if you start any sort of troll thing. Sycophants or people writing under pseudonyms from the gurus who don't like it, blocked immediately nowadays. You're on your way. If you've got something to the contrary, cite evidence, cite sources, and do something that's called approach the argument in a logical manner. Don't try to do red herrings. Don't try to do ad absurdums. Don't try to do ad odiums. Don't try to do ad hominem. Look those up if you don't understand what I'm talking about there. I'm using the Latin for the logical fallacies. Anyway, so that's what we got to say. This is a better program. Now check that out. Send them information. Of course, clue them in that I sent you that information, that I'm the one responsible for giving that source. It's very good. It's incredible. The new thing is very incredible. It's very fun to use. So check those both out and start using FLTR because it'll work offline, not just online. All right. Until next time. Okay. Oh, by the way, the guy was saying, so here's my overly done presenter thing would be a swati crap, as they say in Long Thai. Okay. Not here. It's like crap. You know. All right. So, Bogan my crap.